Welcome to Portraits in Color. I'm your host, Dr. Frank Mirabal. I'm here with Baracutanga and two of its founding members. We have Nick Baker and Carlos Noboa. See, I had to practice that a couple of times, right?
Noboa.
Make sure that I got it, Noboa. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
How are you guys doing in these COVID times?
We're making it. We're getting through. You know, it's not without a struggle, but we're overcoming the obstacles and making it through.
So we want to start with the origin story of Baracutanga. So let's start with the name. How did you guys come about that name?
I think Kilko found that name. It means people dancing in the Afrikaans language. And so we all liked it.
Such an appropriate name, yeah?
Yeah, it's appropriate and it has a very percussive quality. Baracutanga, right? It sounds like a drum rhythm, so it fits.
Before Baracutanga, we play a lot of Brazilian instruments like percussion. And actually, that was our first gig, like just percussion, like 2-hour.
2-hour jam sessions. Just going for it.
Just going for it. So we had a different names that are related with samba or Brazil. But later we realized we need a name so we can unite Latin America.
Yeah.
So that's why.
So tell me some of the other names that were floating around, because I know, being in a band myself, you know, by the time we ended up on the name that we decided upon, we went through all kinds of crazy names, and some of them I look back now, like 20-some years later, I was like, what were we thinking? We're going to call ourselves Velvet Jones? We're a bunch of pimps wearing pimp hats? What is this? So what are some of the other names that you guys were thinking about?
Yeah, I think what's a band here called Samba Soul, something like that.
Samba Kirky was
Samba Kirky.
one possibility.
Yeah, so that kind of old Brazilian style names, you know. Yeah, but you know, as you know, we are from South America. 4 of the members, we're 5 now.
Where are you from, Carlos?
I'm from Ecuador.
Ecuador.
And we have from Bolivia, Quilco, el director from Baracutanga, too, Jackie from Peru. So that's why we trying to have.
You guys are representing.
Yes, sir.
South America. Yeah. So talk, in terms of like your music, if there's people that have never heard your music before, how would you describe your music and your sound?
Well, it's very Latin for one thing, and so a lot of cumbia, Brazilian influence of the batucada, samba, and also other influences like reggaeton and some of those kind of rhythms are in the mix. But it's very much a mixture. It's not one thing. It's a collection of rhythms.
And did your sound come from like very long jam sessions, just getting to know one another, influences, things of that nature?
Yeah, from the beginning, like I said, like we start with a Brazilian thing, but you know, my background is more in Andean music, like flute music, more Asian type of music. So I came with that, and different people come with different backgrounds, like rock from here, people from New Mexico who was playing with us too. So we have a different backgrounds in music.
So I have an interesting question for you. So being that you guys are, living and performing in New Mexico, and when we think Latin music and stylistically Latin music in New Mexico, you think of that New Mexico music, that ranchera style that's unique to this territory. Al Hurricane, that type of thing. How hard was it for you guys to like build audience in the context of a lot of people when they think Latin music and supporting that style of music? Was it difficult?
Yeah, I'd say so, and not just New Mexican music, but there's a lot of salsa here in Albuquerque.
For sure.
And so it's like you're either flamenco, you're salsa, or you're ranchera, and we don't fit any of those. So yeah, I think it was difficult at first to just say Latin. Well, so we try and get more specific. Okay, we do cumbia, we do batucada.
Was it difficult finding venues to play at?
Especially, and because you hear like Latin music that people thinks in salsa, they expect this kind of rhythm, and we play so differently. It's fun, but it's not salsa or not this rhythm. So we have a blend of rhythm. So, but took us like a couple years to people. Understand what we play.
Well, so to answer your question, like we don't really fit into the Cooperage, for instance, or those venues that this is the style of music they have. So yeah, the answer is yes.
And so your music is kind of, indicative of like So you think about like the Latino population, and people want to look at it as a monolith. But you got people from Ecuador, you have people from Peru, you have people from Mexico, the different cultures, the different styles of music. So there is no kind of like one homogenous Latino population. So the fact that you're contributing, music, from your roots and bringing that to the overall kind of like mezcla is just probably a wonderful thing, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many internationals are here in Albuquerque.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and when we started this group, we were tapping into the international community from the university. There was a lot of Brazilians and people from Latin America, and former member Sebastian was really great about connecting with people. Oh, hey, come and hear us, and we'd have people from all over at our shows.
Yeah. So tell me about how the band got started, its evolution, because you guys have you're founding members, but there's been several members come and go in the band, but there's some core members that stayed the same. Talk about kind of how the band started and how it's evolved over the years.
So, everything started with, like Nico mentioned, Sebastian from Argentina. He was a friend of everybody. This kind of friend you have. You know everybody here. And at that time, I was playing with another band, and I received a call to jam, actually. So we get together. He called different members, like a Blake, that was the first one, Kilko. So we met that day, that Saturday there. And we started to just jamming from there. He was the main reason we get together.
That's how some of the best things come together, right? It's very organically.
Yeah, and feels good.
Yeah,
it feels
absolutely.
really good just playing, and the music was my first time playing that Brazilian stuff. But I have the opportunity and the open mind to put my influences, my bass, my way.
Right.
So we didn't have this strictly thing.
So I want to take people behind the curtains a little bit. So we're going to have a little fun here.
Yeah.
So people don't understand kind of the dynamics in bands. They're like very complex relationships, right? So like you put together this eclectic group of people that are creative in a band, and you create something, that hopefully is unique. So first of all, who are the creative forces in the band? Because the thing about it is, what people don't know is you could be in a band of 9 people and it might be only 2 people that are writing the music. So is that the case in your band?
Yes and no. Kilko is a huge creative force. He has a lot of ideas musically and lyrically, and he's written a lot of our songs. I've written songs, more the music of songs, and then I'll bring it to the band, and then we all jam on it and come up with an arrangement. Micah has written a lot of horn lines and melodies. Jackie has contributed a lot of lyrics, especially. And Carlos, everybody has contributed melodies and different pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
We've even asked our wives to write lyrics for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really a mixture. So yeah, some people like Kilko are more creative, but everybody has input.
So who are the members in the band that are never on time? Because that's the thing about being around other creatives, right? And I know you probably don't want to out certain people, right? But because you're like, well, man, should I out them? But there's got to be some people in the band that are never on time.
You could probably guess.
Yeah.
I better not.
Try to guess.
Let me say, does the first name start with a J?
It does.
Okay. All right.
Start with a J and then
there you go. So Jackie, start showing up on time. No, I'm just kidding. It's your band. You can come whenever you want. Well, thank you so much for sharing your origin story with us. You guys are going to play a song right now, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So we're going to take a short pause, but when we come back, we're going to hear a live song from Baracutanga. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you so much.